Escape from Tarkov is a comparatively new first-person open-world survival PvP game, which due to the depth of the game's customization and mechanics, garners some really significant attention. Set in the same universe as a prequel is hiredops, a free-to-play online multiplayer FPS game which follows the trend of the likes of Black Squad, Alliance of Valiant Arms and Zula. It's been said that the game is a re-release of an older title, or at least based off it. Personally, I wouldn't know if that's true, but if this game is anything to go by, it couldn't have been that bad. So get that golden AK out, those magazines full, and let's flick a fat Cuban while we fuss over this, why don't we? The gameplay is what you'd expect from an FPS game. It has custom classes, each with their own weapon set, an in-match store where you can buy items using money again from kills, doing your objectives and even just dying. Yes, dying. You couldn't make that shit up if you tried. The game modes are basic, domination, deathmatch and the rest of the typical actions like you're all used to if you've played FPS games before. You've got a whole host of gadgets and weapons through the in-match store, ranging from an MP5 with a drum mag, optic and suppressor, to explosive drones, grenades, medkits and mines. Some classes have ready access to other gadgets, while others are locked behind another play wall where you need to do X amount of damage with another piece of equipment or something similar. There is a tactical aspect to the game as well, as the time to kill is pretty short and you get cut down in seconds if you're not careful. Getting the drop on someone is the name of the game, and honestly that's a good thing. The movement speed is a bit slower than you'd expect from what looks like a COD clone at first sight, but when you get into the game it becomes more of a Counter-Strike type of thing. Health regeneration is limited to the assault class, which is a skill you can upgrade to regenerate health faster. There's quite a diverse cast of weapons to choose from, starting from the AKM with the folding stock and go plating, like a Banana Republic Warlord, to the M4A1 and even the lesser known ones, such as the AEK 971 and the SA58 paratrooper rifle. That being said, the weapons handle as you'd expect them to. There's assault rifles, PDWs, shotguns, LMGs, sniper rifles and marksman's rifles. Funnily enough, most of the guns are readily available for a decent cost of the game's currency, but some of the more interesting guns are hidden behind play walls. Yes, you heard that right, play walls, not pay walls. I can hear you thinking it already. Now what's this bullshit you're trying to sell me? Well fam, allow me to properly explain. There are challenges available in the form of contracts, and the better guns are hidden behind a rank attained from a specific company, which is unlocked after doing X or Y amount of them. This new, fresh take on the better guns is certainly a welcome change in the loot box fest that is modern gaming. Instead of incentivizing people to spend money and gamble on impulse for advantages, you instead incentivize them to explore game content and experiment with the weapons sandbox already available. It rewards skillful gameplay, encourages diversification of the experience, and isn't arbitrarily decided by the depth of the player's wallet. And that's a good thing. Another neat thing is the announcers speaking either Russian or English depending on what site you play, which adds to the immersion. Yeah, that's right Treyarch, take notes there with your broken Russian English. To me, the game is kind of a mixed bag, as there are some things I'm not really fond of. For example, the weapons appear to be hit scan, and I wouldn't know what universe that's a good thing, especially in modern gaming. Another lamentation is the fact that there's a full-blown invulnerability window after spawning, where you take 0 damage, and it disjoints the game because there's no way to see it until the stupid icon pops up when you're shooting at an enemy. In the vein of trying to be more hardcore, the game has friendly fire, which would not be an issue if you didn't get TK'd at the start of a round because of some asshole who thinks he's being funny. And if the system didn't affect carelessly thrown grenades or mines planted by your teammates who put them right at your feet for some reason and get you blown up. While it doesn't affect me personally, I can see that the more hardcore players will probably see their stats hurting because of this kind of bullshit, which is highly unfortunate for the hardcore scene of the game of course. To top it off, the hit detection is kind of all over the place and headshot damage is inconsistent as shit. There is no sniper sway, which makes sniping ridiculously easy, and its hipfire is pretty accurate too. Speaking of experimental but actually functional mechanics, the game has some more unique features such as status effects, mainly stuff like bleeding, intoxication and broken bones, each with their respective effect on the player. In itself those aren't bad, but it's the bullshit like the spawn protection which makes someone literally invulnerable that can really break the deal here for some more hardcore players, and I stand with that statement. To add to that, the formula isn't new if you've played things like Black Squad or AVA, and in the end, if you're looking for an entirely fresh and new experience, expect to be let down. It does feel like they weren't aiming to reinvent the wheel though, and that's a good thing because the game isn't a mess of experimental mechanics. It's a functional arena shooter, and that's all it wanted to be anyway. People have listed performance issues as well, but I've yet to see any aside from the long loading times. I suppose that the netcode has something to do with it, and speaking of which, it feels like it works with or against you depending on the itch on its bollocks really. Aside from that, I fell through the map a couple of times, but after the warm-up round I was back into the proper game again. Now, is it worth it? To be absolutely real here, it's free to play and that alone makes it worth a shot. At worst you lose 10 minutes of your time in a match, and at best you'll find another free game you enjoy to add to the collection. So that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a comment down below. If you didn't, do the same thing. I could always use some feedback. Don't forget to like, favorite and subscribe. Black Rose signing off.